In the last 3 games, the Bowen Brothers are directly responsible for a plus 26-point differential. Considering Oklahoma beat Tennessee by 6, Alabama by 2, and Missouri by 11, there's an argument that Oklahoma loses all 3 of those games without the heroics from the DFW products. Today we will break down the importance Peyton and Eli have been to this program and how they may lead this team to a national title. But before we go further, if you are a Sooner fan and like more than opinion-filled rants and need more fact-packed content, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. We are aiming to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the season. Remember, every like is a horns down.
Welcome to Sooner Stats, your home for Oklahoma Sooners coverage.
For decades, the University of Oklahoma football program was synonymous with a specific brand of violence, the scoreboard assault. From the wishbone era to the air raid sirens of the 2010s, the Sooners' identity was forged in pyrotechnics. The formula was simple, elegant, and often terrifying to opponents. We will score 50 points, and if you score 48, we win. Defense was often a formality, a speed bump on the way to the next offensive possession. That era is dead. In its place, amidst the tumultuous transition to the Southeastern Conference, a new identity has emerged. It is not built on Heisman-winning quarterbacks or wide-open passing lanes. It's built on a suffocating claustrophobic defense, elite special teams precision, and the singular game-wrecking brilliance of 2 brothers from Denton, Texas, Peyton and Eli Bowen. A deep dive into the 2025 season reveals a transformation that is both stark and necessary. The Sooners are no longer winning with flash. They're winning with a grimy resilience. They drag opponents into deep water and drown them with efficiency. The statistics paint a clear picture of a team that has flipped the script. The Sooners have evolved into a squad where the offense plays a possession game while the defense and special teams act as the primary engines of victory. To understand the magnitude of this shift, one must look at the efficiency metrics. In the modern college football landscape, which is skewed heavily toward offense, the most telling statistic is opponents' points per play. While total yards can be misleading, teams often rack up yards in garbage time. Points per play measures true defensive efficiency. Oklahoma currently ranks number 4 in the nation in this metric, allowing a meager 0.212 points every time the opposition snaps the ball. This efficiency is not an accident. It is the result of a front 7 that has become the most disruptive in the country. The hallmark of Brent Venables' defensive philosophy has always been havoc, and the 2025 squad has embodied this. Oklahoma ranks number 1 in the nation in sacks per game, averaging 4 sacks per contest. This relentless pressure does more than just lose yardage for the offense. It destroys the rhythm necessary for sustainable drives. When a defense sacks the quarterback on more than 10% of passing attempts, ranking number 2 nationally in sack percentage, it effectively kills 1 out of every 10 drives before they even begin. This pressure is married to a run defense that has completely shut down opposing ground games. Oklahoma ranks number 2 in the nation for opponent rushing yards per game, allowing only 77.5 yards on average. By erasing the run, the Sooners force opponents into a one-dimensional passing attack, which plays directly into the teeth of their elite pass rush. The result is a defense that allows just 15.1 points per game, ranking number 6 in the country. While the defense suffocates, the special teams unit bleeds opponents dry. In a season where the offense has struggled to move the ball explosively, averaging just 4.9 yards per play and ranking 100th nationally, the ability to capitalize on limited opportunities is paramount. Oklahoma's special teams have become a weapon of mass efficiency. The team ranks number 1 in the nation in field goals made per game, averaging 2.3 successful kicks per contest. This is supported by a 91.3% field goal conversion rate, a top 15 national metric. Perhaps most crucially, The Sooners rank number 1 in red zone scoring percentage at a perfect 100%. When the offense crosses the 20-yard line, they come away with points, guaranteed. This creates a psychological vice for opponents. They know that Oklahoma's defense will limit their possessions, and that Oklahoma's special teams will punish every mistake with points. It is a formula built for winning tight, low-scoring affairs, proving that in Norman, defense and special teams are no longer just supporting cast members, they are the stars of the show. If the defensive statistics provide the foundation, the Bowen Brothers provide the lightning. The trajectory of the program under Venables has become inextricably linked to the recruitment, development, and on-field production of Peyton and Eli Bowen. The story of the Bowens is one of divergent paths converging on a singular moment. They represent two diametrically opposed narratives in modern college football recruiting. The high-stakes pursuit of elite athletic traits versus the undervalued acquisition of technical mastery. Peyton Bowen, the older brother, was a national saga. A consensus 5-star recruit and top 60 national prospect, his recruitment was a theater of chaos. Known as a generational player by his high school coach, Peyton possessed an athletic profile verified by elite track data, an 11.31 second 100-meter dash that signaled a sudden athlete capable of impacting all three phases of the game. His commitment timeline was viral folklore. Initially pledged to Notre Dame, Peyton engaged in a piece of recruiting theater on National Signing Day 2022 that shocked the country. On live television, he reached for a Notre Dame hat, eliciting relief from his mother, only to toss it to the side and don an Oregon Ducks cap. A moment that visibly disappointed his family. Yet, within 24 hours, citing coaching changes at Oregon, he flipped the final time, signing with Oklahoma. He later apologized for the hat pump fake, acknowledging the chaos of the moment, but the message was clear. Oklahoma has secured a raw, explosive athlete needed to erase mistakes on the back end. Eli Bowen, by contrast, arrived with none of the fanfare and all of the skepticism. Listed at 5'9" and 180 pounds, Eli faced the entrenched size bias of college football. Despite recording 10 interceptions as a high school sophomore, recruiting services were divided. ESPN and Rivals saw a 4-star talent, 247 Sports saw a 3-star prospect limited by his height. Eli was adamant about forging his own identity, refusing to be recruited solely as Peyton's little brother. He chose Oklahoma not as a package deal, but because he recognized that Venables' complex coverage schemes placed a premium on football IQ and sticky coverage over raw measurables. For the first half of the 2025 season, the Oklahoma defense was good, it was efficient, but it lacked splash plays in the secondary. The turnover margin was not good, hovering around 0 per game. That changed in November. In the last 3 critical SEC games against Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri, the defense evolved from elite to legendary. Oklahoma won the turnover battle 8-2 in the stretch, a surge directly correlated to the Bowen effect. Peyton and Eli accounted for 4 massive game-swinging plays, directly resulting in a net swing of roughly 24 to 31 points in Oklahoma's favor. So how do we actually put a number on clutch? Can't just say they played well, we need to see the math. To do that, I'm using a metric I call net point swing. It works like this. We take the points the opponent was guaranteed or more than likely to score, whether that's 3 points for a field goal or 7 for a red zone trip, and we combine that with the points Oklahoma scored on the very next possession. That total number, that is the true value of the Bowen brothers. Let's look at the receipts. First, let's go to Tuscaloosa, Eli Bowen's 87-yard house call. Context is everything here. Alabama was driving. They were threatening to score first. Conservatively, let's say the Tide were going to get at least 3, maybe 7 points on that drive. But Eli doesn't just stop them. He flips the field entirely. He takes those points off the board for Bama and adds 7 for the Sooners. When you do the math, that is a 10 to 14 point swing on a single snap. That's a massive shift in win probability before the first quarter is even over. Now let's look at the game against Missouri. We're down 3-0. Mizzou lines up for a chip shot. Statistically, that kick is made 85% of the time. That is a guaranteed 3 points until Peyton flies in. He erases those 3 points. But here's the key analytics argument. Peyton's block gives the offense the ball back immediately. 3 plays later, Satania goes 87 yards. If Peyton doesn't block that, Mizzou kicks off, and that specific offensive sequence likely never happens. So we take the 3 points saved, add the 7 points scored, and you get another massive 10-point swing. We went from a potential 6-0 deficit to a 7-3 lead solely because of number 22. And it's become a pattern. Against Tennessee, Peyton stops a drive crossing midfield, saving 3 points, and sets up a field goal. That's a 6-point swing. And finally, the closer against Missouri, Eli Bowen, late in the fourth quarter. We don't measure this one in points, we measured it in win probability. Mizzou had a puncher's chance, maybe 5%. When Eli points that ball, the number drops to 0. We call that a terminal stop. Game over. You add it all up, and in the last 3 games, these two brothers are responsible for a 26-point positive swing. When you realize the small margin that we won by in the last 3 games, the math is clear. We most likely don't win these games, or all of them, without the Bowen brothers. The statistical resurgence of the Oklahoma defense in late 2025 is impossible to decouple from the presence of the Bowen brothers. In the last 3 games, Oklahoma's turnover margin ranks skyrocketed to number 7 in the nation, averaging +2 margin per game. Peyton Bowman has evolved from a rotational spark plug into the quarterback of the secondary, a player whose versatility allows him to play deep safety, nickel, or dime linebacker. His 2025 season included the clutch block field goal against Missouri and the game-stabilizing interception against Tennessee. Eli Bowen has silenced every critic who questioned his size, earning the highest Pro Football Focus grade of any Oklahoma defender in 2024. He proved that technical proficiency creates elite production. Despite missing the first 4 games of 2025 due to a foot injury, his return catalyzed the secondary. His sticky coverage and ball skills were the difference between a lost season and a potential playoff berth. At the heart of this transformation are these two brothers from Denton. They look to make noise not only to end the season against LSU, but going into the playoff. They didn't just participate in this defense, they defined it. In the new era of Oklahoma football, the Bowen brothers proved that defense doesn't just win championships, it saves seasons. Do you think that the Bowen brothers should be the MVPs of the season? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. We'll see you next time. Boomer.